Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Mainly Eminem podcast in association with ePro. Some huge news for all you Eminem fans. That is right, tonight is the night that we get the first single from Eminem since, well, first promo single since probably 2017 with Revival. So joining me as ever are my co-hosts. We have Ross and Blake. Ross, what are you expecting from tonight?
Honestly, have no idea. I'm really hoping that it's going to be it's Dre produced for a start. That very small snippet that was at the end of the I guess the little teaser he did with David Blaine sounded really good. But honestly, I got no idea. So there's a lot of promo though. So I'm guessing he's got a lot of faith in whatever he's releasing. So I'm pretty excited though.
Yeah, I've also seen there's, for whatever bizarre reason, there's a lot of fans that are speculating that it's not just going to be the release of the single, but the album might actually drop as well. What's your take on that?
Surely not. Like, there's no way they're putting all this effort into the promo, because I mean one thing that a lot of people have been saying for a while is they want more promo, like for him to do
Yes.
promo again, and it seems like they're doing it quite right this time. So I'm not sure. Um, yeah, I really doubt it'll be the album tonight. I did see someone say they reckon it's an EP that's dropping, and then the album in it like later in the year. But again, I think it's just people going wild with speculation.
Yeah, there's a lot of the fans going a little bit OTT with the with what's going on. But it's interesting because we've also been very critical of how the promotion,
Mm.
whether Eminem liked it or not, back in the day with release drops, he probably didn't, probably preferred to just have the surprise drops. Do you think that this is now, after this, I take it's possibly going to come with a music video tonight as well?
Actually, that's a good question. I don't. Oh, wow, that's caught me off guard a little bit. I don't know if we'll have a music video tonight. It'd be interesting to see if he does, because that would mean that they're really pulling out all the stops to promote the album,
Hmm.
and the song as well. But I mean, I'd be intrigued to see if a video does drop. Maybe David Blaine's involved in the music video somehow. Maybe that's why he was hinted in the little promo they did, because it was odd. It was an odd pairing, David Blaine and Eminem. But maybe it is for the music video. Who knows?
Yeah, because I think, was it last year, Eminem was at David Blaine's show, so possibly in New York. So this must have been the sort of beginning of maybe getting in touch with him
Mm.
regarding all this.
I mean, I'm also curious as well. Like, I don't know how it sort of works. Is he dropping it sort of like midnight, like Detroit time, or because I got the option to pre-save it on Spotify. So are
Hmm.
we going to get it midnight tonight in the UK? As in like 2 hours from now, or less than 2 hours from now, or do you reckon it'll be like a 5 a.m. thing?
Nah, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be, yeah, midnight Detroit time, which
Yeah,
in obviously where we are, it's going to
yeah,
be around about 5 a.m. So just looking at the comments on YouTube as well, yeah, everyone's saying
7 hours.
t
Yeah,
12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, by obviously depending on where you are around the world, for us it is going to be towards the early hours of the morning. So no, it's going to be very interesting. And even with the, what did you make of the album cover? Because there was a lot of people saying that it was quite similar to the Curtain Call 2.
I like it. I think it looks good. I did see that someone compared it to an old Houdini poster where
Yes,
he's got these like
so
little pixie devil things flying around him in that as well. So it's obvious. It's a bit like Music to Be Murdered by, I suppose, where he just took inspiration from something in the past and used it in the new album cover. It does look similar to the Curtain Call cover. I
that's
will
right.
give
It's
you
got
that.
that sort of same vibe behind the kind of curtains, I suppose. But I mean, with Houdini being a magician, of course, there is going to be sort of curtains
Yeah.
involved in any sort of artwork anyway. So no, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens tonight. What are you expecting? The sort of success in the charts. Are you expecting it to have, a good sort of first day on Spotify?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll definitely have a good first day on Spotify. I don't know if it will go number one, because it obviously we don't know until the song releases and what sort of public opinion makes of the song. But I'd love to see it go number one. But I definitely think it will have. I couldn't give you like an idea of numbers, because it's been I think I saw something earlier say it's been like 1,200 days since he last dropped a studio album already.
Yes.
So the hype is there, and people are going nuts on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I saw that he's been trending for like the last 3 days straight on X, which is nuts because all he's done is put out a small snippet video with David Blaine. So yeah, I mean we'll have to just wait and see, I guess. But I definitely think it will do well in the first day.
Yeah, that's right. So as you said, it has been 1,595 days since Eminem last dropped a studio album. That is his second longest drought of his career. So everyone's hoping that this lead single is finally dropping and the man himself is back. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of hours. Now we're going to try and get Blake on as well. So if you can all give us just a couple of seconds, people, we'll just put everyone on mute again and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Right, Blake, thankfully we joined us. This is what happens with
This
live
app is dog shit.
live TV. So yeah, how are you feeling about tonight? You looking forward to this?
I am, but I'm not really putting any expectations on it because the minute you start doing that, you either set yourself up to be let down or you set yourself up to be really impressed.
Hmm.
Um, in regards of obviously reaction to it, I reckon obviously every news outlet, well, really in the world, obviously you've got your Genius, you've got your Spotify, Apple Music, everything like that. They're all going to be obviously posting about it all day. Obviously you've got all of it, like the Shady Team and Eminem Associates. Obviously, Royce is going to be there. Obviously, Easy Mill. Joyno will probably post something about it. Bizarre, the boys of D12. Like all of them are going to post about it. So,
Yeah, I've seen
and I
Alchemist.
reckon it'll do good, but it's until the quote unquote YouTube experts get a hold of it, then that's when people are going to go, oh no, it's not that good. So, I'm not really expecting anything. I'm just looking forward to a single which has actually come with a bit of promo.
Hmm. I think we probably speak for everyone that uh, everyone should listen to the track before they go onto Twitter, onto YouTube, and just form your own opinion from the start. Because if you log on to X and you see all these negative people straight away, and then you listen to the track, you're probably going to go in with a sort of negative attitude. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, at the end of the day, this single that there's going to be a good portion of people which aren't going to like it, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to like everything that comes out. Like just in the same way that there's a few songs that I don't like, and there's songs people that love. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But don't slate the song because everyone else is slating the song. Obviously, like
Yeah,
Danny's just said, form your own opinion.
Facts.
Like try and listen to what's being said. I reckon it's going to be a bit of I reckon it's going to have goofy portions, but obviously with him saying that from the next trick I'm going to make my career disappear, I reckon he's just going to come out with absolute outlandish shit.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's what I was
I have
seeing as
got a
well.
funny feeling. Obviously, Easy Mill's been posting like everything regarding of like something that might be coming in. So I reckon this isn't going to be like a solo single. I reckon this might have a couple of features.
That'd be nuts. I mean, also as well, going back to what you were saying, like let the song sit out there for a few days. Don't listen
hmm
to it 3 or 4 times in a row and then go, "No, it's crap." Because, like, I mean, if you listen to a song 2 or 3 times and make your opinion off it in one go, then yeah, you're probably listening to music for the wrong reason. But like, if it does have features, I would be open to seeing another Easy Mill feature. Everyone sort of clowns him a little bit online, but I personally really liked what he did on the track they had together.
Oh yeah,
It's definitely different, and the fact that in his music videos he typically sort of tends to mix it with dancing as well is definitely fresh. I mean, that's bringing it back to sort of how hip hop used to be associated was with dancing as well. So
yeah. So I've been reading a lot of these YouTube comments. Everyone asking what we think. Is this his last album? Is this what? We've obviously spoke about this in our previous episodes that everyone listening will be able to obviously get online. What is your view, guys, on this? Is this is of course the final installment of the Slim Shady era, but is it going to be his last studio album?
I see. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said I'd like to say no. I'd have been like, nah, surely not. Like, but there's been a lot of I'm going to make my career disappear, like the death of Slim Shady, that sort of stuff. It's sounding very closing the casket, isn't it? Like,
Hmm.
and it might just be to build the hype, and if so, it's a very clever marketing strategy. But yeah, I don't know. It lasted like a couple of weeks ago. Like I said, I probably would have had to like in certainty say no, not going to happen. But like now, I'm very much on the fence, and I'm like, I'm really not sure.
Yeah, Blake, what about yourself?
It's hard to say because that's like trying to say is your dog got one more fucking in with the teddy before he passes away. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't put a time scale on these things. Like you know, it could be, and if it is, at least they're actually giving a shit about it. And, they're putting some promo out there for it. But if it isn't, at the end of the day, this is a character that he's been trying to really get rid of for quite a while. In terms of obviously because that's all people expect. Obviously, because the issue is, and I'll till my dying breath, I'll always go back to that one interview where he goes, everyone always wants him to go back and do the old stuff, like the old Slim Shady stuff.
Yeah,
And it's not that he doesn't have the ability to do it, it's just that you can't be taken seriously in this day and age doing that sort of music. It doesn't make sense in this current climate of rap, hip hop, stuff like that. Well, I say that obviously he's at the point where he can do what he wants and get away with it.
yeah,
But this is a character he's wanted rid of for quite a while. So I said it when we actually recorded our show, where obviously when the album got announced that it's happening, and I reckon it's going to be a very much like a Marshall Mathers LP2. Obviously, it was designed to be a bit of a throwback, like one last hurrah to that sort of era.
yeah.
Obviously, and then you move on to something different. So I don't know. I don't think this will be the last one. I reckon he's got one more, one maybe two more in him. Especially obviously with Paul Rosenberg saying that obviously it'd be nice if they did a Curtain Call 3. So
Yeah, exactly.
obviously, I don't think it's the last one. I think this is literally just right. I'm going to give you one last bit of what you want, obviously mixed with what I want to put on there. I reckon it's going to be quite a fucking decent album, but in terms of his last one, I don't think it is now.
Do you think that this track is going to be like? I've seen people saying that this could potentially be similar to like a role model track or the Real Slim Shady. Do you think he's going to have that sort of comedy sort of vibe through it with current like sort of the recent news that's through as well, like current times?
I hope so, because obviously those tracks, like for example, Raw Model and all these like comedic type tracks, they're popular for a reason, and obviously a first lead single, you need it to, bang. Like folks, a prime example is obviously Look How Well Not Afraid did. Look How Well,
Yeah,
Love the Way You Like. In terms of recent era music, obviously when the first single drops, obviously you can go back and you can talk about Without Me's and stuff like that. But no, I reckon this is going to be a very strong first single to put out, because obviously usually if you roll out singles, it's usually 3 or 4, isn't it? But
Yeah.
obviously
yeah.
people always remember the first one that come out. So I reckon it'll be good.
So yeah, there's a lot of people. Just give a little shout out to all the fans that are on the YouTube just now as well. So there's quite a lot of Aussies and a lot of people from the UK as well. So we've got some times here.
Pick up the Aussies. Come on, boys.
Come on, the Aussies. So there's a few people in Queensland. So they said that it's going to drop at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at their time, and it's going to be more towards 5 o'clock in the morning UK time as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I think, with Curtain Call 2 obviously being pretty much tracks that everyone had anyway. I think that did come out at midnight all around the world in each country. So, but it wasn't obviously, there was a couple of new tracks obviously, but that was then. But every other album that he has dropped has released at midnight in Detroit time. So I'm thinking, the track drops tomorrow. Is going to have a good, pretty strong streaming numbers as well, and then you are going to have, although we've criticised them in the past, you're going to have a lot of these YouTube reviewers basically on it straight away. Ross, who's your favourite sort of person to be dissecting Eminem new music at this time?
I haven't watched like YouTube reactors in like a long time. I do like Stevie Knight.
Yeah,
I mean, because he was going from sort of a little bit of a. He kind of went from not really feeling Eminem's music to then going through like his whole discography and being like, "Whoa,
that's
I was
right."
a little bit wrong. But then there's these other guys. I have to come back to it. I'll find out the name when I have a look in a minute. But there's these two guys that sort of I first caught onto them when they dissected Kill Shot, and they literally did it like bar for bar, and it was
that the twins,
the Law twins.
Oh yeah, it might be actually. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I think it is the Law twins. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're probably up there.
They were big, sort of around the Kamikaze era, and as you say, Kill Shot as well. So,
to be fair, I mean, people have different opinions of the guy, obviously on this app, but in terms of breaking down lyrics and obviously rhyme scheme stuff like that, Knox Hill is pretty good at doing it.
Gets a lot of hate, but I do like what he does.
We can all safely say we're probably not going to listen to Fantano though, can't we? Realistically, let's be honest.
He's a bit of a. To be fair, he was quite. He was doing the Apple Music Top 100 albums. Obviously, that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But he did say that the Marshall Mathers LP being at whatever it was, 82, 84, he says that was shocking and it should have been higher. So I thought, well, fair play, big guy, because you usually do slate anything Eminem related. So the fact that he actually sort of shouted that it should have been higher speaks volumes for it.
To be fair, our friends, sorry to interrupt you, Danny, our friend Mr. Michael Mathers, the UK tribute act, I don't know if he's still in here, he's just obviously popped up on mine. I'm hoping, obviously, by the time we go and see him live, maybe this song will be part of his set.
All right, cool. Of course, that would be good.
If none of you know who he is, obviously he is on Instagram and there is videos of him on YouTube, so do go check it out. He is from the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, hopefully if anyone from the UK, we'll get him on Instagram. He's been doing a lot of shows around the UK and he has some summer festivals as well, which will be quite good. With the Eminem show, guys, as well, that was 22 years ago that hit. So it sold 1.5 million copies in its first 9 days. How mental was that? 9 days. It went just about double platinum.
And we say it a lot, but those are the times when like you had to actually queue up in a shop and go and buy a CD. Like that's crazy. Realistically, I think we're all probably going to just wake up tomorrow and open Spotify or Apple Music and just sort of give it a listen. I will obviously buy it, but the days where you could go and do those numbers from people queuing up and buying your music is like long gone. And
I think the only people that could do that now, like in terms of, I don't think anyone in hip hop could do that now. But I think in terms of music, the only people that could do that is obviously like your Beyonce's and your Taylor Swift's. Obviously, that just makes 100%. It so much more impressive.
Yeah, without a doubt. So there was a famous quote from Houdini. I don't know if this is going to be, something to do with the track, but one of his most famous quotes is, "The secret of showmanship consists not of what you really do, but what the mystery-loving public thinks you do." So there could be some themes in here. A lot Houdini was famous for disappearing, but then also coming back. So, however this track goes, it's obviously a concept album, so it will be interesting to see whereabouts this song actually goes in the album, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like going off that as well. When you look at the album cover, like it's the hockey mask. You can't see any like flesh or anything like that. You can't see any tattoos or anything. Like for all we know, he is going to do the whole. Oh yeah, for this act, I'm going to make Slim Shady disappear. I'm going to kill him with a death-defying magic trick or whatever, and he's going to escape it at the end of the album or whatever. But I personally am a big fan of concept albums. People give them a lot of crap because you have to sit down and actually listen to them, but
Yeah,
I really enjoy them, and I think Music to Be Murdered By was also a very good concept album. Relapse is a very good concept album. I just think it's definitely one of his stronger suits. So yeah, I'm very very excited to hear what it's going to be like.
I reckon he'll recreate the bit from Role Model. Obviously, with him posting before the announcement of obviously the single. Obviously, he posted the first scene of Role Model, the music video. So
that's right.
I
Yeah,
reckon that might possibly like a revisitation or like a recreation of that scene. But obviously, he'll have modern day Eminem there, and he'll probably try and do something to sabotage the trick. Obviously, there's been a few pages obviously posting that obviously Houdini died in Detroit. So
I was just seeing that. I was just about to say that. I didn't know that. I saw someone put it in the comments saying Houdini died in Detroit, Michigan, and I just double checked it, and yeah, he did.
yeah. So he was doing like a tour of the states, and he'd done a show in Detroit, and then that night he collapsed on stage, and then he got rushed to hospital, and then he died a short time later. So I think someone else posted that Houdini died at the age of 52, and Eminem's 52 this year. So I don't know. I think people are looking a bit too deep into these into these
Yeah,
things.
you give a dog a bone, mate. They go nuts, don't they? That's the point. I mean,
Oh,
he literally can put out the smallest teaser in the world, and people will dissect it for anything.
well, Blake, you obviously sort of struggled at the start to get through to us, but what do you think that David Blaine is going to be if the track comes with a music video? Do you think that he's going to appear in it?
it'd be quite good because obviously I thought obviously that whole even though obviously it was quite blatant the way obviously David Blaine's end was jittering that it wasn't a proper FaceTime, but it was actually quite a cool concept because obviously David Blaine obviously he walks up to that table, does his trick where he eats glass, and then obviously Eminem says, "Well, for my next trick, I'm going to make my career disappear." And obviously, then David Blaine shows the shock factor, which obviously he's usually very calm, collected, not many emotions, speaks like a frog, but do you know what I mean? Like it was quite a cool concept of how they did that whole thing. So I'm hoping possibly. Just because obviously whenever there is a music video, it it he does like having a few like stars. Obviously, like the Relapse era had loads of big name people in the music videos of that one. So I'm hoping, especially with the theme of the single, he will be.
Who do we think is going to produce this track?
I don't know. I saw someone say it's not Dre produced, so I'm not sure. We obviously saw that photo on Instagram that had the Alchemist involved.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see any credits for it yet at all, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'd like it to be Dre produced. But yeah, I've got no idea.
So yeah, we're just going to have to see in the next couple of hours. So
Yeah.
we're gonna call it quits just now for tonight. So just for everyone that's on the comments on YouTube as well, it's going to be midnight Detroit time. It's going to be 5 o'clock a.m. in the UK, and of course the boys from Queensland says it's going to be 2 p.m. over there as well. So we will be back probably on Sunday. And we're going to do a proper review of the track and hear everyone's thoughts from it as well. So, thank you to everyone that has tuned in to this sort of special short episode in association with ePro. Thanks to ePro, of course, for beaming us through their channels. And yeah, everyone, enjoy tomorrow. The first thing you do, obviously, is listen to it. Don't go on Twitter, first of all. Please listen to it just before anything, and then come up with your own sort of assumption with the track as well. And we'll see what happens in the coming days and how hopefully it will perform pretty well, I would imagine, online as well. So thank you, everyone, and we'll